Good afternoon and welcome to the Protect Yourself Florida application video presentation for Practicum Sprint 6 of the Spring 2024 Intro to Health Informatics course. As mentioned, the project title is Protect Yourself Florida, and this is an individual project conducted by myself, Gerald Mouton, as the project designer and developer. The TA mentor for this project is Mike Romano, and background information is the application utilizes historical data of prevalent health conditions from the CDC to present descriptive analytics on the influence of geographical coordinates on a population's health. The project implementation status of the Protect Yourself Florida application is that it is ready for initial consumer utilization. The final build has been successfully deployed and login validated by consumers. Dashboard functionality such as filters on county and health conditions have been verified. And widget data compared to source database has passed reconciliation testing. On the right here, we can see an overall data architecture diagram that shows that the data starts from the CDC Places dataset on the CDC website, and from there is taken in a Bodo 3 script and imported to Amazon S3. And from Amazon S3, a Redshift copy command is issued on the Redshift cluster to bring the data into a Redshift table. From the Redshift tables, this data is fed into Amazon QuickSight widgets through queries fed from Amazon QuickSight to the Amazon Redshift cluster.
As shown in the data architecture diagram, the data starts in the Places Local Data for Better Health datasets provided by the CDC in collaboration with the Robert Woods Jones Foundation. From there, a Bodo 3 script will import the data into Amazon S3. Here you can see our Amazon S3 bucket in our application account. In the two main data sets used for this application source data are the Places census data and the Places county data. From here, a Redshift copy command is issued from inside the Redshift database and into the initial ingestion layer tables. From here, you can see these are directly copied from Amazon S3, and from there, we go to the aggregation layer with the PL/PG SQL transformations and aggregations to create one large Places fact table that unions and aggregates the data from both the ingested tables. From the aggregation layer, we create the consumer layer, and the consumer layer feeds data to each individual widget for data retrieval optimization. And here we can see an example of one of the final consumer layer tables, and we see the data aggregated based in the grain of the table on the measurements. Here are a couple different measurements that we have in the data. For health conditions, we see that we have information pertaining to adults' dental care, older adults' colon testing, and another dental care condition for all teeth lost amongst adults older than the age of 65. And we see the location, the longitude and latitude coordinates of a county located here. And all this data is then used for data points on the data dashboard, the data visualization dashboard.
Research conducted for this project consisted in the field of spatial epidemiology, and this is the study concerning the geographical influence of health concerns on individuals. Specifically, we looked at how the latitude and longitude coordinates of a county an individual resides in may affect their chance of developing a health condition. Research examples found include population in areas of less UV radiation have an increased risk of prostate cancer. Additionally, lower income areas have increased risk of diabetes. These are the research examples in the need finding stage of development, and actual health conditions tracked in the Protect Yourself Florida application will be shown in the demonstration of the application. For the demonstration, I've provided a link to the login page of the dashboard, and when prompted, the QuickSight account name is protect-yourself-Florida. The username is app_consumer_user, and after redirection, the password is app_consumer_user1. And here I will take you through this login setup and give an overall demonstration of the application.
Here we have the output of the initial link provided for the dashboard, and here we will import the QuickSight account name as Protect Yourself Florida. Next, the username, as mentioned earlier, is app_consumer_user. And here we will be experiencing the redirection, and after the redirection, we will insert the password as app_consumer_user1 as previously shown in the slide. And here we see the Protect Yourself Florida application, and we'll click it to enter the dashboard. And so, initial overview of the dashboard, we see a few different widgets, and these widgets consist of condition description, and so this will be all the conditions that are listed or stored that there is data for inside the database, and then therefore shown in the visualizations. From here, we can kind of see the filters on the data that we can apply, and that'll be, we can look at the different conditions. As you can see, there are a few other conditions that we can select, if not select all. The county names, this is every county in Florida. The age category, we have all ages, middle-aged adults, and then older adults. And then for gender, we have men, unisex, and women. So continuing back to the widgets, after the condition description, which just maps the abbreviation to the full measure description, we have the conditional analysis by the county coordinates, and this is basically a heat map of the severity of a condition in each county in Florida. Green means that it's not a severe condition, and then red means scaling down to red means it is a more severe condition. And then we have the condition analysis by county name, and this is just the data points that map to the visualization here. So here it is, the visual representation, and here's the numerical representation. And then the last two widgets we see here are the most severe condition by county name. And so this does not, the filters do not apply to these. This is just a, what is the most severe condition for an individual to take caution to in a certain area. And then here we see this data, broadcasted visually on a map of Florida. And so now we can walk into a little bit more of a little bit deeper analysis of each widget. So the condition description, we can look at all of the descriptions to kind of get a better tale of the data that we have and the data we can visualize. So the abbreviations here are the different abbreviations, and then here are the measurements. This is just the full name, and this is the abbreviation that will correspond to it and be used in the following widgets. So again, here we will not select all. We will, let's look at one particular condition, that's sufficient sleep, and this is the percentage of individuals sleeping less than 7 hours amongst adults aged older than 18. And so here we can see, based off of that description and based on the data points, that many individuals in the northern part of the state of Florida are getting sufficient sleep, while in the bottom portion of Florida, they are not. And then we can, from this data, from this visualization, we can start to make, hypotheses on, maybe why that is the case. And that could be, in the lower part of Florida, maybe the nightlife is better, and that will cause people to get less sleep if they're, staying up later at night. Or it could be, being closer to the equator could have something to do with it, and that might be the the cause for the health concern in that area, and why somebody might want to take caution to it. Um, and then continue to move down, we can see the condition rank. So this is the county rank. So here you can see, you know, the individuals in these counties are at most risk, at the highest risk. And then, like I said earlier, the filters do not apply to these bottom two. This is just a, in, for say, Baker County, older women might want to take special caution to making sure that they get the clinical preventative services that they need, as this is the number one most severe condition in that area.
Future work for the Protect Yourself Florida application includes adding additional conditions and finding data for these additional conditions to increase the awareness and need for protection of a plethora of different health concerns. Another item for future work is user feedback on widgets to determine if there is a need to change the widget's design to help tell a more complete story to the consumers. This can include updating existing widgets or creating new widgets based on new ways to look at the data. Here we have the references used for the research of this presentation. And lastly, just want to say thanks for watching and thank you for a great semester.